colleague have joined. I will request my colleague to turn on their videos. So, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues, and my dear fellow students, Namaskar and good afternoon to everyone. And to start with, we are very grateful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Nageswara Rao sir, and respected Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Uma Kanjilal Madam, for their timely guidance and helping us during the various planning session of these knowledge transfer series sessions. With hashtag Learn Anytime Anywhere, these series are designed to foster intellectual growth and facilitate exchange of ideas among all the learners who are interested to understand different areas of computer science and information technology. Today, we are gathered here for the 8th lecture on cutting edge practices in Agile and DevOps methodologies and introduction. A special thanks to our today's speaker, Mr. Kapil Pandey, SAP Solution Architect, HCLTech, for readily accepting our invitation in a short notice. Mr. Kapil has consistently applied his expertise to tackle some of the most pressing global challenges. Sincere welcome to our Professor Suresh, Director SOCIS, all the directors, regional directors, colleagues from SOCIS, including different faculties from different schools in IGNOU. I would like to extend a warm reception to our enthusiastic participants who come from the diverse background, including academia and industry professionals. Our special mention goes to our young and promising learners, those who have enrolled in BCA, MCA, and PhD programs. So today you have joined us for the noteworthy online knowledge transfer series, which is being organized by the School of Computer and Information Sciences at IGNOU. IGNOU, as the world's largest open university, promises to bring a unique and innovative dimension to this session by featuring speakers from various fields. Today's session introduces the core concept and advancement in Agile and DevOps methodologies, highlighting their significance in modern software development practices. Attendees will gain insight into the key topics of Agile principles such as Scrum and Kanban, along with the DevOps practices like infrastructure as a code, automated testing. I extend my gratitude to each and every one of you for your unwavering commitment to the pursuit of knowledge. Together, continue our journey of knowledge exploration and growth. Thank you once again for giving this opportunity to coordinate these knowledge transfer series sessions. And now I request Professor Suresh, Director SOCIS, to address gathering and introduce today's speakers.
Thank you, Professor Sandeep. Am I visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Because I'm using mobile on laptop, I think you have to give the permission.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So,
I mean, you can remove that screen share so we can see the speakers well. Yeah, that's better.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, Professor Sandeep. I would like to thank our Pro-Vice Chancellor, Professor Uma Kanjilal, who joined today's session. This is the first session she is joining. So we extend our warm welcome to her. And I would like to introduce the today's speaker. First of all, I would like to welcome him for making it time on a working day. So Dr. Kapil Pandey, he is an accomplished SAP Solution Architect with over 20 years of experience in the IT industry. He possesses a robust educational foundation complemented by extensive practical expertise. His professional journey spans across renowned multinational organizations such as CMS, IBM, and HCLTech, where he has excelled in solution designing, project management, automation, and other critical IT domains. Kapil is distinguished by his comprehensive understanding of SAP technology, demonstrated by his certification in the field. Having consistently delivered successful project management and innovative solutions, he enriches any team or organization he joins with a wealth of knowledge and strategic insight. Welcome, Dr. Students have already joined, and also there are a large number of participants in YouTube also. So we welcome you for today's session. Professor Sandeep.
Thank you, sir. Now I request our respected Pro-Vice Chancellor, Professor Uma Kanjilal Madam, to say a few words.
Thank you, Professor Sandeep. Today's speaker, esteemed speaker, Mr. Kapil Pandey, Director, School of Computers and Information Science, Professor Suresh, my colleagues from IGNU and all the students. Good afternoon to all. It's a pleasure, in fact, to be part of this interesting lecture. And especially, I would like to congratulate School of Computers and Information Sciences for initiating this whole idea about online knowledge transfer series. And the best part is the tagline that talks about learn anything, anytime. I think that's the most interesting thing that they have put in, and it has added value. I mean, see, from the Open University side, we have been involved in developing courses, course material, videos, and etc. But this is another interesting way of reaching out to our learners. And also identifying best of the speakers from the industry, and cutting edge technology is being discussed, presented, discussed in detail. And I think that's going to add value to our students. This is not only for the students, even for the faculty and others who are interested in the field, that will help. And in fact, this way, gradually, we are building up a rich repository of very interesting lectures that are coming in. This being the 8th in the series, I think all earlier speakers were very well presented, and very top-notch speakers were there. I'm sorry I could not attend the earlier series because of my engagement somewhere here or there, something happened. But I'm lucky today that I'm here. As we know that technology every day changes, and it's changing so fast. There's exponential growth, and today we talk about education, Industry 4.0, Industry 5.0. We are talking about education. In fact, on the terms of education sector that we are in, we talk about education 4.0, where actually use of AI, ML is being there. Extensively, we are using them for a lot of activities, and there are a lot of possibilities that have opened up. Then AR, VR, also something that we are exploring the possibilities, how to go about. Robotics is taking an edge. IoT devices, 3D printing, these are all the developments that are happening. I think when we talk about agile computing, I think that's very important in a sense that, see, in our experience, because every day we need some system to be developed or something to be put in place. And we forget the complete strategically going into the software development life cycle because of the crunch of time, and we just do away with that. What is important is looking into the possibilities and completely going by step and systematically following the standards. So I will be very interested to listen to Kapil ji, because this is one area I think I'm not very aware of. We have been developing software, we have been developing some application here and there. So we would like to know from you exactly what you are proposing. And in fact, we would like to see also in future that if you can help us in our development processes. That will be a great help with your experience in the industry. Thank you very much.
For your inspiring words. The moment we have all been waiting for is here. I kindly ask all the participants to please mute their microphones and turn off their cameras. If you have any questions during the presentation, feel free to use the chat box to send your queries. We will address these questions during Q&A session, and feedback form will be shared at the end of the session. And those who will fill the feedback form will receive the certificate after verification. Thank you, Mr. Kapil Pandey, once again for gracing us with your presence and for being a beacon of knowledge and inspiration for us all. The stage is now yours. We eagerly await your word of wisdom.
Thank you so much. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. So, namaskar, good evening, and good morning, everyone. So, first of all, this is my pleasure. You have selected me for this such a knowledge sharing sessions. Alongside, I would like to say thanks to entire IGNO fraternity, and special thanks to my childhood friend, Miss Dr. Sandeep Rawat. Yeah, and yes, I've been working for 20 years in IT industry, so I'll make it cut short about my introduction. So basically, I did my graduation in mathematics, and then I did my 3 years diploma from GNIT, and along with that, I did my distance MCA learning from learning, and then I got opportunity to work with a small software company called Orbit System, and I've started my career from programming. Then I get into the database administration, then again storage and network, and then again database core administration. So my entire career is like agile and DevOps kind of career. So started with coding, and at the moment I could do coding as well as the administrate the system and do the solution architect as well. So full I would say my career was full DevOps and agile way. So it yeah, so it crafted like that. So I won't take much time, and currently I'm working with SCL Technologies for last 7 years, and then earlier I was working with IBM, CMS, HCLTech, all the Indian and other MNCs. So at present I'm solution and technical architect SAP. So wherein I'm building solution or solution across agile as well as the DevOps methodology. So I hope my screen is visible. Are you able to see it?
Share it now.
Okay,
Please share once again. Yeah.
let me share it again. Is this visible?
Yes, it is visible. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So uh, uh, thank you so much. Thanks once again. So we'll go with agile and DevOps together. So first few slide pack will cover the agile methodology. So why it is important, and then again we'll talk about the DevOps. So why and which tools are nowadays in SAP practice. Other than that, we'll say other we'll discuss about the hybrid mode of agile, and of course we'll discuss around the Scrum as well as the Kanban methodologies. So how and where it is important towards the entire software application lifecycle management, and that will start from planning to realize, build, test, and run. So let me first cover the agile methodology. So what is it? What is the key role of agile methodology? So we'll go by this. So if you look at the left side of the presentation, so earlier SAP used to call it ASAP model. So it was very much like waterfall methodology. So where preparation will go, then will a long time will take in blueprinting. At least 6 months might or 8 months might take the blueprinting. Then you do the realization, then final preparation and go live. So here you could not see any continuous feedbacks around your product. So the moment you done the blueprinting, and then end user will realize after 6 months my requirement was something different and something else being built, right? So that I've faced such challenges in real world scenario as well. Like classical example is one of the customer asked, a UI and UX design will go like this. My radio button will sit here, and my submit button will sit here, right? So finally, when final product arrived, there were some gaps. So if you think of the timeline, so 6 months or 8 months itself take during the blueprinting, then again the realization, and then final preparation. I mean, so the real product was come in front of user after 1 year or so, right? So that was the waterfall model, and then again, in between, of course, build and test. Of course, any life cycle of any software is will not complete without having test. We'll talk about all the test scenarios, what all test scenarios would require to make a robust product. Now let us talk about the right side of the story, though it is called SAP Agile Development Method. So here, uh, uh, you know, in Agile methodology, we are continuously developing a software, and there are certain methodologies. Like we can pick up Scrum, or we can pick up Kanban, and then we define our iterative sprints, like 2 or 4 weeks, right? First of all, life cycle is, first of all, storytelling happens. Like, if you are developing a product for a customer, so customer will say, in SAP word, baseline product already there, so SAP has standard ECC is available, and then customer seek for then, because all the business requirement will not match with the standard product, because all the customer having their own way of dealing with finance, procurement, logistic, XYZ, transportation. So standard product is already available. On top of that, customer want to build his own solution, that is called custom solution to it. And then there would be all the product owner or business owner would be giving all the product backlogs by storytelling method. I'll tell you what is storytelling, and then how these sprints being planned and all that. So this is how all of the product being segregated. So there are product backlog, like let's suppose I have 1,000 product backlog. Then product owner and then solution architect will define the priority for that. They will define the value points for that, and they will define based on the customer's criticality, like if they want finance module should go first, or logistics should go first, or procurement go first. It's customer's priority or business priority. Based on that, all product like backlog will come, and then there then the agile role play into the picture, like based on the customer's comfort, or architect suggestions, or scrum master's suggestions. So right methodology to be picked up, it could be scrum way of delivering, or it could be Kanban way of delivering, or it's customers and then comfort, all about the comfort, and about the team's availability as well. This is the key point, because you would be having agile teams. So like I mean, agile works on demand and forecast method. You have a core team and then flex team. Let's suppose you have a core team which is need entire life cycle of the software development. Then you have a flex team. Let's suppose you are developing finance module, then of course you will onboard the finance people. If you are doing logistic, then logistic people. Of course, in between you will need the testers and functional experts and technical architects in between. But so this is how it works. So in in a sprint way, you plan everything. Like a sprint should not be more than 2 or 4 weeks. Typically, I would prefer two weeks of a sprint. Let's suppose I have certain product backlog. I need some customization or some development or some reports and form to be developed. It is called RISE-up in SAP Word. Based on the customer's priority, it is product owner and architect and scrum master responsibility to split these product backlog into the 2, 3, 4 weeks sprints, and then cycle goes on. So, and then this is how Scrum works. And other side, how Kanban works is Kanban works based on the Kanban board. There is no priority being set as such. So whatever is critical and whatever you see to be delivered and have the suitable team available, you pick up the people and start developing it and proceed with your cycle. Okay, then beauty of this uh, doing agile is in 2-3 weeks time you will get MVP, minimum viable products. Let's suppose a finance team has stated, I need this report, and he will give you the report. Right here you could see there is no blueprinting happening. Everything is on top of SAP's standard product. There are product backlog, and you are realizing these product backlog. So SAP has their own methodology. It is called SAP Activate methodology. So I'm certified on SAP Activate methodology as well. So Activate methodology is SAP has own content. So in that content, SAP delivers all the business process details, like how procurement business process will work, what all test cases to be executed, all the documentation being done by SAP. So you need not to document anything around it. Only thing is whatever is the product backlog. So first phase is like you discover, activate having different phases. So discover, prepare, then you realize and build and run. This is the activate life cycle. So in activate methodology, it is very much aligned with the agile methodology. So SAP will give you the predefined content. So there you will do all the discovery, like if this business process is fit to me, like let's suppose you want to go with procurement. So accordingly, you will pick up all the business processes and process steps and all that. So even SAP provides you the entire demonstration of how your business process will go in swim lanes, like how sales order will created, how procurement will happen. Everything is in graphical manner. So you need not to do any documentation around the business process blueprinting. So SAP's Activate methodology is aligned with Agile methodology. Then on top of that, different organization having their different own methodologies. Like HCLTech has Activate Plus methodology, wherein we leverage 4Ds: design, deliver, discover, and deploy. We have 4Ds in that methodology. So Agile is a methodology. So you need cross-functional teams. You need you need a agile culture team, like because in agile world you will see the continuous development and continuous integration and continuous delivery. So I'll talk about CI/CD later. First, let me cover advantage of it. So let's suppose once you have finished with 2 through 4 weeks sprint, right? Then of course you will do the show and tell session with your key business user. Let's suppose a finance person has stated, develop a report for me. So in 2 weeks or 2 weeks time, your report would be ready. So you would be going to do a show and tell session with that particular person, and then in 2-3 weeks or 2 weeks of time, you have the minimum viable product is available. So if you compare to this, here you are getting the product after 1 year. So because in waterfall methodology is like there is no continuous loops, there is no continuous feedback, and rather there is no continuous development. Everything is happening in silos, and you're going to the business or customer after 1 year. Hey, this is the product I have developed. Maybe you have developed it successfully, but many times customer won't like it. I gave you the classical example: form buttons are missing, or your display, he has asked for green background and you are giving something different background. Here whatever report is requested for in a form of product backlog, that is going to be delivered in 2-4 weeks time, and you're doing show and tell in session with the the key business user who have requested for that report. So you see the beauty, right? There are continuous loops. So if still any gap comes within days time, it will be fixed. Again, customer says, I need black color in between. I need in UI and UX, let's suppose you are developing any form, he need different color, different background. There might be some logo missing into it. You continuously going back, and business is telling you like, yes, this is the product I needed. Other than that, agile methodology having certain rules. So of course it is iterative release, right? And you will be seeing all the burn down chart based on your release planning. And of course, key aspect of agile is daily stand-up meetings. So I'll talk about the daily stand-up meetings, and other than that, there are other important meetings supposed to happen. So, but key of this agile methodology is daily stand-up meeting, wherein you are discussing only 15 minutes for entire team. Simply you ask what you have done today, what is planned for tomorrow, is there any blocker? That's all. You are not discussing cross teams like is there any dependency, what is happening. So only 15 minutes, Scrum Master will finish off the call. Okay. So other than that, working software being delivered frequently, I've stated, rather than months or so. Other than daily cooperation in between, Scrum Master and Scrum teams. And probably if we have the co-located team, that is fine. But nowadays that scenario is not necessarily meeting, because if you look at this session as well, we are doing it very well by doing it remotely. So if you have co-located teams, well and good. Otherwise, there is no as such there is any dependency around it. So working software, you are delivering 2-3 weeks of time, right? And continuous feedback. And finally, once your sprint is over, you are doing sprint retrospective. Retrospective means you are checking what went very well while you are executing this particular sprint. Like, is there any gap with the planning? So you will definitely discuss with product owner or program manager or scrum master. Is there any dependencies gap in between the two teams? Like, as SAP's development is very huge. Like, you would need developer, you will need functional, you need testers, you need integrators, you need it's a huge development, I would say. So there should not be any dependency. So sprint retrospective, you discuss about it, what went wrong, what was good, and then you note it. Maybe there are some backlogs are not covered during the first sprint. So next sprint, you will prioritize that sprint to the sprint 2. Your sprint 1 backlog will go in the top, so that the moment you start your sprint 2, so you are covering your sprint backlog if there are any. If no backlog, then of course, based on your product backlog, you whatever sprint planning you have done, like let's suppose you have 40 sprints out of 1,000 sprint backlog. So accordingly, you will plan those up. Maybe you can execute 4 sprints in parallel if you have capacity. As I've stated, if you have core and flags team available, you can demand flags team any point of time, and that is called squared in agile world. So you can any point of time, if your organization is taking the factory model, what HCL does, we have core and flags team, and flags team is always available to deploy. So we very much in line with agile principles, right? So I think I've give you the comparison between the SAP and agile delivery method here. So I'll take questions later, because Sandeep also suggested you can put questions over the chat. So I'll try to address those. Otherwise, these can be discussed over my mail ID as well. So what changes, Agile bring for an enterprise, right? So if you have seen seen the previous slide, um, the development cycle is very huge. 1 year of 6 months of the blueprinting, then you're doing 1 year of development, then the IT word. Maybe you won't find your best person in 1 year's time, right? So the earlier ASAP or waterfall methodology very much IT focused. I mean, there is no focus over the business, right? Because discussions were happening in between technical or IT teams only. I mean, business is not at all involved, right? It's very much soiled, right? Operation model is not that soiled, and service quality is SLA driven, and value change is I mean, change management is everywhere. Either you go with agile methodology or anything, right? So in what is being achieved while by adding agile methodologies in the software life cycle. So as I've stated earlier as well, so you're doing the continuous delivery, you're doing the agile ceremonies, and you're real time measuring and monitoring the progress of your team. Eventually, right, you're doing it iterative, so you are saying your at least your minimum viable product is ready while while you are keep on finishing your sprints. Okay, not only that, development, you're parallelly you're doing the testing as well, right? You do build and test, and then you deploy it. So in SAP words, testing comes bit waterfall, because there are dependencies between the module to module, because finance will be heavily dependent upon the procurement and logistic and all that, because end result is finance only, right? So development goes well by setting up agile methodology, but to do complete cycle of SIT or UAT, you would need all modules together. So at least you have your minimum viable product ready by day, right? So further you can get that tested, and you can testing also can be agile. Okay, you will prioritize your test cases based on your business process, right? So we'll talk about the test automation later, where it will fit into the agile journey, right? So team has one goal. So as I've stated, teams are primarily sitting. I mean, I've given an example in India ODC, or could be anywhere nowadays, should not be any issue. And these are the multi-skilled teams, right? So if I am a developer, so I would be knowing how infrastructure layer works, right? If I am a functional person, so I might be knowing what should be the coding standard and all that. So these are the multi-skilled teams, right? So that teams understand the significance of infrastructure layer, how really it works, and what should be the coding standard for that particular organization, right? And then simplified tooling. Let's suppose if you want to go for agile and DevOps model, it's not like you would be purchasing, or you would be investing your dollars to purchasing a tool. So prime focus is, if whatever customer has the existing tools, if these can be leveraged, or if these can be simplified, right? So if you're going for any service industry, of course you will see service now, and there are possibilities for release management. Customer would be using Jira, and maybe for unit testing as well, customer might be using JUnit or SonarQube, any product. And for the test automation, maybe Workshop or Tricentis or any other product. So it doesn't, Agile or DevOps doesn't say to procure any product. Try to leverage existing products in your DevOps tech, right? Like typical example is in SAP what solution manager is the product, and now solution manager is getting replaced with Cloud ALM, its successor product of SAP, right? So this product itself has having all the capabilities to deal with agile methodology, or or automate it. You could automate automatically. You have, you know, the or some sort of test automation already exists there, or you can do the test planning, manual test planning as well as for sprint management or Kanban or Scrum management. They already do have modules available. They have inbuilt PPM tool available inside the Solman. Other than that, there is one more product called Focus Build that was launched by SAP in 2017, I think. So idea is leverage the existing product as long as your requirement is fulfilling, right? So this is what is very much needed, right? So of course, so the what would be the outcome? So here you could be saying you're in waterfall or ASAP model, you are very much IT focused. Here you are the business product aligned, because all the product backlogs are coming directly from product owner. Like whosoever is the business owner, he is giving you the project backlog requirement. So it means you are directly connecting with the business, not with IT, right? Typically, you would see there is no project manager in, if you are using the agile methodology, there would be the scrum master who would be handling entire, you know, the communication between agile teams and architects and product owners, right? And second thing is collaborative. See, because you're working on 2 3 weeks sprint, and then of course after 2 3 weeks of sprints, you are doing the show and tell session with the business. It means my developer has direct approach to the business owner or product owner. He is not going by the project manager route by writing a mail. My product is ready. Can we do that? Can we do a show and tell? It's not like that. All agile team would be discussing together during the daily stand up. So of course, product owner would be there, scrum master would be there, your entire squad would be there. So whatever you want to discuss in 15 minutes time, everybody is available there to discuss about the challenges or impediments. So nobody would be waiting for 10 days or so, because within 2 weeks time you have to deliver your sprints, right? So that is what daily stand up is needed. So that is what the efficiency and effectiveness is coming, because your team is equipped with the agile methodology. Like they are the cross trained people. They respect the culture, right? It is not about, you know, developing a software or anything. The cultural adaptability is the key role while you are picking up agile methodology, right? If somebody is working for Germany or Europe or something, those people should be well aligned. We should be understanding your your knowledge as well as your language and everything, right? And customer experience, like in the end goal is customer experience and customer expectation. So you would be giving the quality service to the customer, right? And then agile and DevOps. So yes, that is what I pick up this topic. I could have picked up agile methodology only, but I want to, because since it is introduction session, so I want to give you some thoughts around agile and DevOps both, and we'll talk about the CI/CD as well later slides, right? So this is how the change you could bring to a enterprise. Like here, XYZ is my one of the customer who was waterfall. He transit to the, you know, he adopted people, process, and tools, and adopted the agile methodology. And this is the end goal of this, right? So this is how, you know, transformation is happening from waterfall to agile. So I mean, I have seen now everybody is looking for the agile methodology and agile way of working. So this is how you are bringing a change to an enterprise after adding the agile methodology and DevOps, right? Yeah. So this is how as I've stated, my organization works on the agile methodology. So this is a typical depiction of our organization's agile development factory model. So how it really works. See, as I've stated, this block is your Scrum team, agile development team. So it is called Scrum team. So you would be saying there is no project manager in this, right? This is the this is customer color, and this is the development team color, right? So how does it works, right? Uh, Same depiction, there is no much difference. So Epic are the program backlog. So let's suppose nowadays SAP is transforming over the S4 HANA S4 HANA based ECC. Earlier SAP's last product was SAP ECC ESP8. Now SAP is transforming everything around S4 HANA because not only agile methodologies are changing, so everything is getting changed. Hyperscalers coming into the play, right? And then SaaS is coming into the play, software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service is coming into the play. Okay. So SAP is also transforming their product, already transformed. So SAP set a deadline to transform your core ECC to S4 HANA product. So it is called S4 HANA because SAP has now developed his own database called HANA. And the SAP has changed business logic and developed the S4 HANA product. Okay, so now customer has choice. They can go public cloud, private cloud, and in on-premise solutions as well. So based on my experience at the moment, I could see the balance shift. People typically like pharma industries and financial institutions still going with the on-prem or private cloud kind of solutions, but it's all balanced, right? So as I've stated during the beginning, so SAP is giving you the SAP Activate methodology along with the base product. So you now how the implementation is happening. Let's suppose one of the customer is doing the greenfield implementation of SAP. So greenfield implementation is everything is new. They want to implement the S4 HANA system from the beginning. They don't have, maybe the cases they already have some other ERP product available. So but they want to use the S4 HANA product, SAP's S4 HANA product. So it will be the greenfield implementation. So again, SAP Activate methodology will come into the picture. Life cycle will go by Agile, SAP Activate methodology, right? Discovery session will go. Business people will see the SAP's SAP Activate content. Like if this product is filling all the requirements or not. Then if not, then there are fit gap workshop. Let's suppose in procurement block, side, there are some product backlog. Those will be trapped, and those will call epic, right? These are the program backlogs, and then these epics are further broken down to the stories, and then these stories are further broken down in the backlog. Then backlog are further broken down in this sprint, or it could be there you'll be doing the scrum plan on demand management and prioritization. Everything will go by product owner's choice. So if you see here, product owner is the person who will come from business, not from IT, right? Here our architect will decide what will go first. let's suppose product owner says, I have priority finance module first, again, up to the product owner's choice. So everything will broken down to the sprints, right? Then sprint planning will happen, all prioritization will go, resource allocation will done, and definition ready, like functional specs and DevX specs will be created. So you might have observed there is no blueprint in this agile methodology at all. Very lean blueprint, like, because SAP already providing you the best practice content, right? So you don't need any blueprinting, because SAP had already predefined their own business processes. On top of that, you're doing your own customization. Okay, so whatever customization you are doing, of course you need to document those. You need to document all the dev specs, functional specs, tech specs, test cases, test results, and everything, right? For the base product, you need not to do anything, right? So there are ways of doing the fit gap analysis. Sometime, if you're going with the purely SaaS based product where SAP doesn't allow any customization, then SAP says go for the fit to standard. Or if you're going for the cloud based implementation or hyperscaler or on-premise version of the ERP, then of course it will go fit gap. Whatever gaps are there, it will come to the epic stories, backlog, then scrum planning, then sprints, 2 weeks sprints. Then this is the methodology again. So it is repetitive, but every slide has own content with respect to agile, right? Here daily stand-ups are happening, weekly scrum meetings are happening, progress review, dependencies, escalations, like impediments, right? In between you would be doing the unit test as well, because you are doing the continuous development and continuous integration, and you'll be doing unit test parallelly. Of course, after unit test you would be getting defects. These defects might have dependencies. Again, you are going to the cross-functional teams, whosoever is dependency on that particular defect. And then again, during the daily stand-up, you are discussing dependencies, blockers, or anything. Then weekly scrums and scrum of scrums. Finally, demonstration and code review and documentation done. It means you have done a sprint review with product owner or business process owners. Finally, you are releasing your product after doing sprint retrospective, and based on your release planning, you are aligning your release, and then finally you are deploying your release plan and change approval and deploy it over your production environment. So in between, also system also come into the play, because typically in SAP world, primarily SAP recommends you must have 3 system landscape. One is your development system landscape, where developer do all the developments, unit testing, then further your change move to the quality system, where in first cut you do the system integration testing, because in SAP world, you are not only doing the core ERP, but your other system also interconnected, like your OLAP system also connected, BI, BW system also interconnected, your SRMs also connected, your Concur, Ariba, SuccessFactors, all systems are integrated, right? So the moment you do a development, of course, you need a smoke test or regression test. And then if you're doing greenfield, you don't need any kind of regression. But of course, you will need an integration test that would be happening on quality environment. Then again, after successful integration test, customer says sometime I need 2 rounds of integration test. And of course, you could do that agile way, because you would be defining your testing strategy as per agile methodology. You do define your sprint for the testing as well. You do the test, and then after SIT, you would be doing UAT. UAT being done by the actual business users, and then of course UAT will be going to happen in the integrated environment. And then prior to that, of course, customer also look forward for the performance and load test. Then it could be done over your UAT environment, or if customer want to invest some product or a separate system for that, you procure the system, and system and load test will go in there. Other than that, high availability test, HA and DR test, final sign off of HADR and your UAT sign off. All these life cycle have a milestone, and then finally you are deploying your product, your backlogs or your release over the production environment. You do the hypercare, and then your ops dev is done, and now ops coming into the play. So you would be doing now, once hypercare finishes, the system will go in the operation mode and run mode. So everything should be going into the plan. So best practice is, the moment you enter into the hypercare, or you do the SIT or UAT, you must be considering the ops model as well, because otherwise DevOps will not work, right? So the moment you go live, all the monitoring, your deployment should be in place. Otherwise, maybe defect might come in, and your system might go down, right? So that is what DevOps is the word, right? Dev and ops, right? Once you're done all the deployments, then of course after deployment you would be doing the ops, that is run an operation cycle, right? Other than that, of course, sometimes if you need a agile coach, you can have it, but this role is not that mandatory. But if you're running a very complex cycle, typical pharma customers or typical financial institution, they if they want to really go for the agile methodology, of course you need a agile coach. And other than your scrum team, your product owners, these are the roles. And then your technical architect, your value stream engineer, chapter leads for your organization. So this is how entire team will build, and these roles will be fixed. Your product owner is very much needed. Project manager will need it. Of course, architects and value stream engineer, you would need it, because these are the core infra people. Product owner from customer side must need it. Scrum master must need it. And the scrum team, based on your the sprint backlogs and what you're delivering, right? It will go by core and flex model. So core, this is your core team, and your scrum team as well. Like, if testers, of course, during the initial 5 months or 6 months, while you complete the unit testing, you don't need any tester. Then you will say, while I've started the SIT, then I will need testers into the program. You can bring them later as well, right? So I'll talk about what is the Jira and other products. So I will get into the details in coming slide. I think I've covered this slide as well. Moving into the next one. So this is how user story flows, right? User stories, epics. I mean, your core backlog is your epic, then user story. So this is the typical life cycle of your user stories, and whatever product you are using, it's Jira, or it could be a CLM tool or Azure DevOps or whatever. So all the products have the workflow, right? So let's suppose user story will enter into the system. Okay. So actual development will happen into the backend system, but tracking will happen into a product. You could leverage Jira, as I've stated. I mean, investment is not required. So Jira is the most popular product. So if customer already Jira is available, you would be recording all the sprints and backlogs over the Jira. And then of course you are documenting these user stories and developing these, right? Defining the technical specs, then actual code development, unit testing, and you would be seeing the continuous loops here, right? If unit testing fails, code redevelopment will happen. Okay. Later, if retrospective, any defects found, it will come to the development stage, right? again, during the demo, let's suppose your technical or business user not accepted that particular form or report or whatever RISEP object. Again, during the demo, if that fails, it will again go to the defects. Again, it will do redevelopment and unit test and defect management, and then finally demo and user acceptance, and then release backlog and handover. But after handover as well, there are chances there might be defects, right? Nobody can build a zero defect product, at least, right? So you could see the all continuous loops in each cycle. During the unit test, during the demo, during the even after the deployment, there might be chance of defects, right? So, but this is out of the blob. You could see this is out of this agile blob. If because you have deployed and handover, of course, defect will come. Then you have to fix it up. Okay. So we'll talk about tools later. So significance of Jira and Solution Manager and Focus Build, we'll talk later, right? So this is how a typical workflow goes. This is a different representation, but actually all the release management and task management software has its own life cycle of the user story or user story, right? So could be in first state it is created, then it will be scoped. Scope meaning, let's suppose I have a user story, definitely you must be doing the scoping of it, right? Scope finalize, fine. Not finalize, postpone it, right? Or recreate it, because scope is not clear, then it will again recreate it then, right? So once scope is finalized, it will hit a workflow and it will go to be developed, right? Then after to be developed in development, because this workflow will hit a sprint burn down chart. This will define the velocity of your progress, right? So you could see by hitting this workflow how many user stories in to be developed state, right? Out of 1,000. So you could really see like what to be developed, what are in development, what are in repair, and what are to be tested and successfully tested, and you will see the confidence of your CIO or CTO. Out of 1,000, I have 800 successfully tested in a stipulated time, like, and that's all. This is what you need, right? So this is the beauty of agile based development. If test fails, then it will again go back by this chart, and then finally hand over to release, and final product will release. So no matter what product you use for the sprint and scrum and kanban, I've seen Jira is the best product with respect to, because all most probably all big customers are using Jira and SOCIS now, at least. And in SAP word, Solution Manager is the product, because if you are enterprise suppose customer, Solution Manager is free of charge for them. So you can, and Solman has the capability to run your sprint, and if you don't want to go for Jira and other product, stick with Solution Manager. It will cover your sprint management and planning thing, and even better, other than that, you can do the release and deployment by leveraging Solman. And then not only release and deployment, you could do n number of things, and finally during the run and operate cycle, it will help you to monitor your entire landscape as well. So by leveraging the single SAP product, you could set up your agile methodologies and DevOps lifecycle as well, right? And nowadays SAP also transforming towards the one product called Cloud ALM. It is purely SaaS based product. So implementation and turnaround time in SAP is claiming 2 days, wherein Solman used to take 1 month or so. It all depends upon the customer's need, right? This is all about the user story workflow. This is very much needed. Without this workflow, you cannot track and Scrum Master and product owner cannot visualize the progress of the user stories, and this is much needed. And this workflow will assign to the particular developer in certain phases, If product is in development, the workflow will exist with the developer. Once your development is completed, it will assign to the the defined tester automatically. So developer also can see in daily basis, before going to the daily stand-up call, he could take a screenshot of his assigned user stories. Let's suppose for this week, let's suppose 40 user story being assigned for a sprint for 2 weeks. He can capture the logs and demonstrate out of 40 I have successfully developed 100 or whatever is the number, right? It means only 300 is pending, and tester could see the what volume is coming into in his queue, right? He could see 100 test cases, test scenarios is coming into his bucket. Accordingly, he will plan it, right? Again, the capacity will run into the play. If the tester says within two weeks sprint, I can't do it. Of course, it's Scrum Master responsibility to add one more tester to it to make a successful testing. Once tester do the successfully tested, of course, hand over to release. Jira story will close. That's all. This is how entire this will depict the burn down and velocity chart of the Jira. Or it could be any Azure DevOps or Solution Manager focus build, could be any product, but every product would be having this workflow, right? Okay, going into the next slide. Yeah, this is the very important aspect of running a agile factory ceremonies, right? As I've stated, I mean, you are delivering, let's suppose, agile based product. So of course so there are some frequencies and thumb of rules. Your sprint planning should happen in 8 hours. It should not take more than that, right? There you are doing the high level business process mapping and team identification, all that. That should not go beyond 8 hours. Backlog grooming should not take 2 hours of 2 weeks. Should not like you're doing sprint backlog grooming for 4 days for a 2 weeks of a sprint. It will not like that. Daily stand up, very important. Key aspects of agile methodology should not go more than 15 minutes. Here you would be discussing with your product owners, your scrum masters, your testers. You're discussing all the calibrations, and you're discussing all the impediments and blockers and all that. Scrum 30 minutes a week. Backlog refinements, if there are any gaps, it need a refinements. It should not take more than 2 hours. Sprint review and demo 4 hours, right? So because sprint review will go for, let's suppose you have a 2 weeks sprints, 4 hours are enough per week. So of course, so time should be well distributed. If you are hitting anything, like let's suppose you are doing sprint planning is happening 4 days time, so you cannot deliver your sprint, right? For 2 weeks sprint, it will difficult to deliver it, right? Sprint retrospective, key aspect. It should happen end of each sprint in 2 weeks, 3 hours, right? Retrospection means you are inspecting what went well, what went wrong, what improvements are needed. Do you need, if any, blocks in capacity? You can plan for additional developer, additional tester, additional functional, additional the operator and whatever you feel, right? So based on the previous sprints retrospection, you will redefine your other sprints based on the lesson learned of the previous sprint, right? So repetitive but needed in everywhere. So 2 weeks sprint, daily sprint call, sprint review, retrospective meeting, agile development and ceremonies. And this is the typically this the ceremony should follow. At least my organization follows that up. and that is where we are successful around agile methodology. Yeah. Coming into the next slide, I have almost covered with the agile methodologies, right? So next topic is DevOps, right? Though uh, though both the things are very parallel, but now Dev and Ops again, because you could see the continuous loop over here as well, right? So if you're doing agile way of working, of course you need DevOps definitions as well. Otherwise, you cannot do agile based development and deployment and testing and all, right? Here again, continuous loop. You continuous plan, continuous code, continuously build, test, secure, deploy, release, and operate, right? Continuous loops around planning, coding, building, testing, right? Everything will go continuous and it will align with your agile methodology. If not, you are not doing then agile development, right? So here as well, you plan, code, build, test, transport, deploy, and you do the operations. Everything is continuous. You would be doing continuous development, continuous testing, continuous integration, continuous development, right? So what you need for the continuous development and deployment, you need DevOps tools. And customer will ask, see, if I am a solution architect or technical architect, my first question would be for building a agile solution. I will definitely ask, what are your current tool set you have available? If customer says agile, I'm happy. If customer says I have I have ServiceNow available, very nice. Customer says I have Tricentis test automation, good to have, right? Again, for unit testing, if customer has any product, like for application scanning, if AppScan, SCL's product, SCL also have a lots of DevOps product. Like I'll talk later about it. Let me finish this first. So like development will go continuous. You have to pick up the best tools or pick up the customer's existing tool. I have stated Jira, Solman, Focus Build are very in SAP world, these are very common tool and most of the customer would be having it. Maybe they may be not using it, but while customer is transforming towards agile journey, we need to propose them and we need to make them compatible, and then of course we can achieve the agile methodology or DevOps way of working, right? Operations as well, of course. Main part of any software lifecycle is operations. Once SI system integrator has done the implementation, the operation come into the picture. Then for the operation, you must have proper monitoring tools available, proper deployment tool must available, proper audit and compliance product also available, right? And then it makes your operation successful, right? Should not be any security breach. If any security breach happens, you must need a product to track that, right? For deployment, because of course the journey never stops for a software life cycle or development. You do the go live. After go live, customer will ask, these are, I need some more development, right? Then you will need a deployment tool also, right? So solution manager also have a deployment and DevOps availability. Other than that, there are other products also available. A very nice product, it is called Release Owl. So it is developed on SAP native and it is on SAP BTP platform. So I don't want to confuse you with these technical words at the moment, but I will discuss about it. But because now we are in DevOps cycle, so of course tools are going to be playing more role here, because we are doing continuous planning on the Jira. Planning is done. Now the continuous deployment. So you need a continuous deployment tool like Release Owl. You can pick up You can pick up solution manager, change in release management. You can pick up any other third party product as well, like Transport Express or any other product. I mean, based on your appetite, based on your uh, you know whatever you need, like the value of the product, right? Finally, quality assurance, key aspects of any software lifecycle development, yeah, right? Continuous testing. So as I've covered the typical cycles of the testing: unit test, smoke test, SIT, UAT. Your You could do your again smoke test or regression test and final deployment, right? So everything should be automatic. Let's get into one example, right? Yeah, one example is, let's suppose there is a bug and developer has developed fix that bug and he check out the code. Okay, he checked out the code, and in typical earlier days, what used to happen, like if developer has developed a code, he will hit a workflow and he will assign that particular user story to tester's bucket, right? Tester will come after 2 days or 3 days and will say, yeah, this has been assigned to me, and he will try to test it, and then one he will acknowledge based on the test package and test result being defined by functional people. If it passes, he again he will hit a mail and say your testing is over. Now I'm promoting your code to the quality environment. But in DevOps scenario, you are adding a automation for continuous development and continuous integration, right? So the moment customer check in the code, automatically that code being picked up and that automatically unit tested by the tools. There are different tools available in SAP Word as well as the non-SAP words, like JUnit, Sonar Cube. You can develop your own unit testing tools as well, no worries. So the moment developer hit a workflow in development to successfully test it, the workflow I have shown you earlier, automatically that code will be unit tested based on the defined test cases. Once that has been successfully tested, it will promote it automatically to the upstream system. If it fails, same point of time, developer of that particular user story will get an alert, say, hey, this particular user story has been failed, fix that out. Okay, automated mail will trigger. If that fails, workflow will go back. If successful, workflow will go forward and code will promote it over the QA system, right?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I think we are behind the schedule now. I think so. I request you to, maybe if you can conclude, because we'll take the question answer few questions.
Sandeep, just one or two slides. Then, of course, though I
Yeah.
have covered everything during I did in parallel. So I'll quickly wrap up then, right?
Right.
Will not cover the lengthy slides. I'll not cover that up. Already we have been discussing this. This is the typical release management sample, right? All tool will be integrated together. So it's now Jira, depend on customers' appetite. You could pick up the automated functional tools. Then your development, your code review, your QA and production. This is one simple example. You can pick up existing tool, or development is complex, you can go for different products altogether, right? This is one another sample. As I've stated, nowadays SAP has their own product, Solution Manager and Cloud ALM. Developer can you leverage GitHub based development and repository based development. There are certain products. Continuous integration server will trigger the deployment. The artifact will go to the quality system. Then automatic testing will trigger. Boom, or deployment will happen over the production system. If anything fails, of course, the continuous loop will go. Your defects will automatically logged over BMC and notification will flow. Right? This is typical example. One another sample of CI/CD. One more example. See, example may differ. customer may have different products, so it will go customer to customer and SI partner to SI partner as well. Similar thing, maybe service now been used here, and maybe code review could be SAP HCL AppScan. Okay, maybe customer would be using Release Owl as a product for entire DevOps stack. It will change scenario to scenario. Again, other use case. Here customer is using Jira and Solman and Confluence for the planning and documentation, then Solman and Jira. Again, design document, develop, create, transport, automatic test code. Again, same thing. Only thing is change is customers need and SI partners choice. Your cap approval could go over the service now, then it will come back again. The other use case. Third use case. Simple tool chain. What I prefer to do. Either use HCL's entire DevOps tool stack. We have bunch of products available for agile development. Like the products are for value streaming, like HCL Accelerate, HCL Launch, AppScan, or there is one more SAP native product called Release Owl. Leverage it covers all your need. Or you want to stay with SAP's legacy product, do Cloud LM, right? It will go based on your availability and based on customers' appetite, right? That's all, Sandeep.
Thank you, Kapilji. And I will request you to stop sharing now, maybe.
Okay.
And then we'll start taking few questions. But before that, thank you, Mr. Kapil Pandey, for your excellent presentation. And I'm confident that your session has enriched everyone's knowledge and understanding. So as you can see that there are few questions. Few students are requesting to share the PPTs for future study. And I will just take one or two questions from the chat. I think we have a very regular student. I think his name is Aditya Singh, and I could see their name, Rahul, Arti Sharma. I think they are very regular student of our knowledge transfer series session, and they are a student of BC and MC student. So one of the question I will take is how do cutting edge practices in Agile and DevOps methodologies align with the broader trends in software development and IT industry? I hope you can see this question.
Yeah. See, Agile is a methodology. It's not a tool. It's all about how customer want to or how SAP SI partner want to take it, right? It's not a tool. Setting up Agile methodology, you need to set up culture first. You need the multi-skilled teams, and of course, first of all, you need to set up a culture, and then top of that, you would need the right people in the right places. Of course, because your Scrum team is directly talking to the business, right? So you need everything. Business means like they are the owner of the system, right? So if you look at the Agile trend, I don't see anybody is using waterfall model as such nowadays. I work, most of the RFPs comes into the my bucket. First and prime requirement is Agile and DevOps, right? So everybody is demanding and everybody wants minimum viable product within 2 weeks time. That is what is needed, right? So I hope I am able to address that. Or
I think we'll just take last question here from Jay Prakash. How can we manage interdependency between teams in an agile project to minimize the impact or blocked up scenario?
see, that is where the sprint planning will come into the play, right? That is what planning is the key of any agile methodology. So as I've stated, if you are developing a SAP's product, then of course it all depends on business need. They want to go for finance first, right? So all planning will turn around the finance module, right? Though once you come into the SIT, of course, you would need the cross-functional teams, of course, but it all goes by your sprint and release planning and all that. So and of course, you are doing the daily stand-ups as well, right? You are not working in silos. That is what this is the beauty of Agile methodology. So no silos. So because we are a Scrum Master, will ask what went well, what went wrong every day in 15 minutes. So there is no chances of there are, I mean, that is what the collaboration is coming to the play. As I've stated, developer knows what is my infrastructure layer. Earlier days, developer was least bothered. Where is my and how is my infrastructure layer being planned, right? He will write his code by his own way. He will put select star in a query, right? So it all adopting about the culture and methodologies and right tool in right places.
Right, right. So thank you. I think a few more questions are coming. I will request them to send the mails to my mail ID or maybe to experts mail ID.
Yeah,
Please,
I'll get those addressed.
right. We have shared the feedback link in the chat box. So I request everyone to give your valuable feedback. And please remember that many learners, they are complaining that they are not receiving the certificate. So please remember, those who will fill the feedback form will only receive the certificate after verification and all. And before I request Professor Divakar ji to propose vote of thanks, at the end we will have a group photograph. So please everyone wait for the group photo session. Now I request Professor Divakar ji to propose vote of thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Sandeep ji. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, good afternoon and greeting to everyone present today, including our distinguished chief guest, Pro VC, Professor Uma Kanjilal Madam, esteemed directors, the director of the school, Professor P.B. Suresh sir, faculty members of SOCIS, as well as dear participants. In fact, it is an honor for me to present the vote of thanks to all the dignitaries present. And I am grateful to the esteemed delegates of the webinar for their presence as well as their efforts in making this event a grand success. So first of all, I extend my sincere thanks to our Honorable Vice Chancellor of IGNOU, Professor Nageswar Rao sir, for motivating us to start, in fact, the lecture series on knowledge transfer. His words of inspiration and encouragement is greatly appreciated. And special thanks to PVC Professor Uma Kanjilal Madam for giving time despite her busy schedule to be with us during the session and making this webinar a successful. My gratitude to Mr. Kapil Pandey, sir, who is working as a SAP Solution Architect in HCL Technology, for accepting the invitation, in fact, and delivering so interesting, informative, and knowledgeable talk on cutting-edge practices in Agile and DevOps methodology and introduction. Hope to you be in future too, sir. My gratitude to Director COE, Director Computer Division for providing the infrastructure support like Zoom, YouTube links, and Facebook Live extras. And I would like to thank the Director of SOCIS, Professor P.B. Suresh, for motivating and guiding at every step to organize such a wonderful webinar at such a large scale, in fact. A big thanks to the coordinator KTS, Professor Sandeep Singh Rawat, for organizing such a grand successful events consecutively 8th time. In fact, it was his idea to start the lecture series on recent topics of computer science in our school. And for making this event successful, he worked really hard. And I also thanks to the faculty of SOCIS, RC Director, for helping directly or indirectly to make the webinar a grand success, and hope they will keep providing their ideas to improve it further in future. Last but not the least, I would like to thank to the participants and learners of BCA and MCA I am hopeful that they would have benefited from the talk and will continue to participate in such type of events in future too, which may be organized by the school. It will definitely increase their binding not only with the school but also with the university at last. So at last, I thanks to everyone. Jai Hind.
Divakarji, now I request everyone to please switch on their videos so that we can have a group photos. And I request my faculties, colleagues to please take the screenshot. I request everyone to start your videos. I have with the permission right now. Yeah. So I request everyone to please switch on your videos. Okay, maybe some are in the second page. So yes. So I request everyone. Yeah. So we'll just have a few more seconds before we leave for the day. So I hope we have taken, and we can take the second page as well. Yeah. Right. So thank you, everyone, and see you in the next KTS session. Yeah. Till then, please take care.
Okay, thank you so much, dear
Thank you, Kapilji. Yeah.
community. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank
And
you.
we'll
Thank you.
see you
Thank you,
soon.
Kapil.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Kapilji.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.